here I am again with the 95 Bounder. We've done a lot of work, not a lot of work, we've done some work on it here and there. A lot of just cleanup and catch up from work that hasn't been done to it over the years, and just little pieces of maintenance that should have been thought of. So one of the issues that we've had is these basement latches. And so, one, unlike a new RV, these are generally not going to slam shut. You're going to have to get in there and make sure that they're latched. Part of that's the age. Part of that is, what I'm discovering is lack of lubrication. And so one of the things that I am doing today is we are using PTFE dry lube. So yes, it's WD-40 branded, but this is dry lube. Now, we're using dry lube mostly because I also use dry lube per the recommendation of the garage door manufacturer. My garage doors put in here about this time last year, about February of last year, had garage doors put in, and they recommended once every 6 months spraying pretty much all the moving parts on the door with dry lube. Dry lube does not attract dust, or rather it's dirt and dust resistant. I wouldn't say it doesn't attract dust at all, but I think it's going to be much more resistant to that. And as part of that, we I thought, well, I have these latches on these doors. They really have a hard time being opened and closed. And some of the latches have been rusted in the open position. Some of the individual tabs have been rusted in the open position, and they're going to have to be replaced. So one of the things you do with these older Bounders that have these basement doors is, I found that there's basically 3 points you want to lubricate that are absolutely necessary. So let me pop this door open, which, boy, this thing really opens better. First off, let's look inside this latch. And when you look in there, if you notice, there's a white eccentric, I'll call it, and that gets pushed aside, and you cannot see that well, with a black wedge that's part of the handle. And if you look at it, you see that as I open it, it moves away. Now, a little bit of lubrication in there is good. That smooths up this action, but where you really get benefit is over here on the edges with your actual locking tabs. Now, this door is not the worst of my doors, but this is my tank access. You don't really get in here a lot, but as you can see, some of these screws are getting a little rusted out. Might have to get those replaced. Oh, that's not good. I don't like seeing that. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about some wasp spray at some point. I wonder when they moved in. Wonder if that's just been gone for a while. Okay. So, it's gonna be a little difficult to two-hand this, but what you do is with one hand you pull in this latch and you spray inside this shaft area here. Now, I've been out to my trailer dealer, and he has these latches, and I'm trying to remember the brand, but Fleetwood used this on everything in this era. I think Southwinds, Bounders. And there's a latch in here that's basically underneath this aluminum bracket. I presume it's an aluminum bracket. And to replace it, you'd pull off these screws off, this bracket would have to come off, this would come out, and this aluminum bracket then has a shaft, which there's a void running through here to this box. I've had this box open on one of these doors once, and these 4 bolts through this protective plate connect directly to here. So as you loosen these bolts, this whole unit pulls out. I don't really want to do that right now. I don't have the tools or the time or the space to be messing with these on my own. But I do have some of these that don't move real smoothly. And as you can see, this one's got good springiness to it. I've lubricated this one just a few minutes ago. As you can see, it's not wet. Same thing over here. We take a look at this one. This one is the one that's a little bit more resistant. I might give it another shot. But once you get that dry lube in there, it frees everything up. And then those doors just come down just amazingly well. So I've lubricated all the doors on this side of the rig. There's a couple of them you got to push in to make sure that they're locked. This is one of them. This one's had some sort of trouble in the past. Okay. And if you go back here, this particular door, this is just a basement. That's a basement with, I believe, spare tire access, or the opposite side is spare tire access. Freshwater tank. Very, very small amount of equipment here. This one used to fight me. This one is just behaving so well now. This is my charge control box, which I don't completely understand what all this does. I'll let someone explain that to me at a later date. But again, these are starting to work right. Now this one has a functioning latch there, but on this side, well, this one does have a functioning latch. Okay, but this is coming loose. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to work on that. Oh my gosh, that one actually closed fully. This one has been used a lot in its life, and as you can see, this particular latch has been jammed, and it's cracked the aluminum, and it's jammed in here. So this door would either be, in my opinion, a full replacement on the door, or we might be able to get a latch in here and live with the broken aluminum. But good news is we have a latch on this side, which is at this point just working perfectly, and that latch that's just really impressively solid. Very, very happy with the outcome on that. This is gonna at least prolong the life of this one latch. Now when you're going down the road, I haven't had any issue with these doors behaving poorly. I just have to make sure that this door is fully closed when I close it. And maybe again, I'll get some parts, talk to my trailer guy, and maybe it'll be a weekend project to take off this trim strip, take out the lock, get underneath there, remove that bracket, see what condition the shaft is in, because there's a pull shaft. If that shaft is bent, I'll have to have that too. And then up here in my propane, same thing here, I believe. I'm going to give that another shot of liquid, because this one could use a little bit more, but it's in okay shape. And this one here is the same problem. It's been jammed in, and so I'm lucky when I'm going down the road that I have at least one latch keeping these things closed. I haven't had any, I don't think I've had any flutter with this. Another possibility for me, and this one closes real tight against the body. Another possibility is I'll just get a I don't know what you'd call it, but something would just slide up and lock that in if I felt that it was going to be a problem. I'm going to go to the other side now, and I'm also going to take this bottle of silicone with me, and we're going to demo actually lubing the locks from that side. Okay, so here we are again, and what we're going to do is we're going to lift this up, and we're going to shoot some oil in there. Let's see if I can do that with the GoPro here by hand. So, don't want too much, and you're going to have to wipe up the excess. I've already probably overdone it. Okay, that's very helpful. Now on this side, we're going to have to lubricate both of these. So I'll tell you what I'll do. Because I'm doing this one-handed, I'm going to get back to you when I have it done, and I'll show you how much easier it works. Okay, so at this point I have greased all of the driver's side doors, so the work is done. I have very little resistance when pulling the flap, and the return spring doesn't seem to feel any resistance either. And that is how it should be done. Let's see how she closes. my gosh, she hasn't closed like this in years. That's fully latched. Let's try this basement door here. Okay, so one of the things we gotta watch out for is a little bit of oil overspray in the latches, because there's nothing really holding it in here. There's nothing holding it in to these latches. So as it goes down, we'll have to clean these out. Wow, fully latched. That's amazing. Okay. Let's see what we got here. This one's the same way. I think I'm going to get quite a bit of drain down, so we'll put it down about halfway. Here's the drain down. And give it a throw. Oh my gosh. Alright, and now you're probably wondering, why am I so excited about this? Well, I'm excited about this. Now, I'm not going to throw this one down. This door I got to treat nice. So this is another one of those doors. It's been used hard. This latch is working really well right now. The handle's working well. We can go over to the other side. You can see that latch is jammed in there. As we go underneath, you can see the bump. There's also probably some D-lam going on here. And that we're not going to fix. Not on a rig of this age. Yeah, kill me about the black streak mark. It's middle of January, so I'm not going to be taking this anyplace in our weather to get it spruced up. I do have plans for that in the summer, and I have my can of silicone out here, and we're going to be working on my gray tank valve. I'm not pulling my gray since I'm winterized, and there's probably some antifreeze in the tank, but I am going to have to give it a little spray and let it seep in over the winter. It's a very difficult pull. All right, and same thing here. This is my back where I got a little bit of freshwater service. That is just, again, I can't say enough good things about what this has done for this rig so far. Okay, well, we'll give it a little bit of a slam. Oh, oil's coming out of that handle. So let's clean that up. Same thing. Basically, we're lubricating about 5 points. We're lubricating on either one of these hinge points. We're lubricating the white wedge that you see in there. We're lubricating in that bracket. And then we're lubricating the two sides. And we're using PTFE dry lube. Let's give it a slam. Let's see how we did. Well, both sides are secure. And this one here is kind of a bit of a pain. I think it's got a bit of a wahoo in it. It requires a little bit more effort to get into, but I'll pop it open. And it doesn't resist at all. All right, so what can we see here? Let's do a little bit of an overview. So here's my compartment. And as you can see, I've got a very special plug-unplug style service compartment valve, which I had installed earlier this year when we went on a camping trip and the other one failed. I've got an elbow on my fresh in. Up above, we dig in here. I've got a twister on the black dump, which works like a charm. That was somebody's aftermarket. There's not a lot of clearance in there to pull a full-on dump valve. I'm not sure how it was laid out before. I think that's probably aftermarket. And then right here, as I turn it directly in view, is a pretty typical vertical pull gray tank on what I presume is 2-inch pipe. Good news is I haven't had any leaks or any other issues with my tanks. And I've dumped at least once on my own. Since I can't actually pull that rod, I am going to just treat it, and hopefully gravity will assist it when the next season comes. And then in probably early March, I'll come down here if the water's back on and do a tank flush. So let's put the tripod someplace that works. I might be able to do this by hand. Let's see here. Shake up the oil. And we're just going to get in here. And actually, I'm just going to rub my fingers on this. I'll got some sanitizing wipes in the car. I'll deal with that later. So, ooh, that's not good. So it twists okay. Looks like that handle would come off pretty easily. We're going to just shake this up a little. I'm going to do a, okay. Shake this up a little. And let's see if we can get this in there. Okay. And that, my friends, is what we want. Just give it a little more. Now, ideally, at any other time and place, we'd be able to pull the valve and the tank would be dry, or I'd be someplace where I'm going to turn it like this, and maybe it'll work down into that area. But that's what I'm going to have to work on in the spring, but put a little on it right now. Now I'll clean up my overspray and see where that goes.